Ladies and gentlemen, as promised, the cockpit of Rafale is almost ready, so I wanted to give you a pre-look on the distributed freeware of Rafale by JB Designs. As I told you, it's a product of reverse engineering from what Microsoft does, and has functional most of the PFDs and AERA on it, so you can have some basic navigation. Autopilot is included, that it can maintain heading, altitude, navigation, and flight level change, basic things. So because it's a fighter pilot, it's a fighter bomber. A freeware model, 3D. I had to work on it though. I had to make all the adjustments on the flight surfaces. It has about 50% of the job, let's say. I did 100% on the cockpit though. So here we see the battery. Here is the AC and DC reset knobs. I tried to maintain the real cockpit setup. Here is the engine fuse and the FCS. At the moment the battery is on the left engine. Here is the hook for refuel. Here is the gear with the annunciator going up. These are not working. This is the taken from Neo A320, so you can, it's a functioning one. Exactly here is the how it's in real life Rafale, but I don't know exactly what every single part makes, so I've got to work on it later, on a later upgrade, because don't forget it's a freeware, yeah. It has a functioning, I told you, autopilot starts from here. You can always engage it, and then when you engage you can go and ask for keep altitude, keep heading, or if you did set up a destination on your AERA, you can use the navigation and navigate wherever you want. You can alter the course for the, and it will keep the selected heading. It can jump between selected heading or maintain current heading. Here you can change the altitude desired. You can either keep the altitude, or when you put the altitude desired, with maintaining steady speed, will reach flight level change if you press that one. And if you want to navigate somewhere or add a flight plan, you can use nav and it will navigate. Well, normally on planes like that, because it's a fighter, you don't expect to see an autopilot, but for the sake of the game and functionality of the game, we have to make some concessions. And one of the concessions is we don't have the tactical display of the real Rafale. The most close I could find was that. So it's the best we can have. It does have a heading indicator here, and it does have the pumps and the fuel down there. It has the lateral view on this side. Joysticks look the same, and well, they move. The same with the throttle. Functioning lights. I will work on the others later. Functioning generators, pitot heat, avionics. pumps, baro indicator and changer. Well, so that's about it. The HUD is working pretty well, but it needs some adjustment on the daytime. I don't know how to adjust the luminosity on that, and here we are with rain. You see the HUD is working pretty well on the situation. Has working panel lights, strobe, nav, I think it's about time to start flying. So let's recap. We have a fully working cockpit. We'll make it a day and then we can go on a flight. And I think we're ready to go for a tour. Let's go. Here you see the cockpit on a day. It's raining outside. I hope you like the rain effect on the cockpit. Looks pretty decent. Here's the HUD. I missed the G-force. I will add the G-force later on. First things first, I have to increase the HUD on daytime, the luminosity. That's the Aera. That's the most close thing I could use, so you can use basic navigation like nearest airport, nearest VOR. You just choose a VOR and then you add direct flight to there, and it's ready to go and fly navigation. So this is the HUD from the Boeing 787. It's inside the Microsoft file structure. This is the same one we're using on the HUD. If you press the lights, we'll take it off and show a menu, arms menu of the Rafale. I keep on working on those. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those. It accelerates pretty nice. So let's do the basic functions of navigation so you know how to do it when you fly the plane. Flies pretty well. And pretty stable. So what do you do with autopilot? You press this white button. We are now on altitude hold mode. We're now on heading select. And we can use nav and we'll follow our navigation path. We'll just follow this path. Pressing Alt and magnifier will show you the menu. Any menu. Oh, you see the rain? So I will show you now how you can always change your course instead of going and following the navigation plan. You can always change course by changing the course button. And asking for selected heading. So here we are roaming through the clouds with a Rafale fighter bomber, and let's see what you can do with that. At the moment we're flying with a autopilot, and the autopilot, that's the hood. It's having heading hold mode. You can always alter the course from here, and you'll see the course right there, and ask to go to selected mode, so it will turn where you select your course. That's how to turn around if you don't want to use your stick. And you can always say to the heading, now maintain current heading, I'm happy with that. Don't forget it's a fighter. You can ask it to hold your altitude. You can ask it to go via nav mode if you put a navigation like we did before. We will ask for navigation mode. And it will turn towards the path. And it can change the level of flying by just adding an altitude right here. It changes right here. And as soon as you are happy with the altitude you want to go, you press flight change. Told you I don't have the most quick computer in the world. Here we are again with a Rafale fighter bomber. We will make a demonstration of how to set up navigation and autopilot. It's freeware. You can find the download link under the video, under the YouTube video. If you can find it, you can always send an email and contact me. I will be more than glad to send you a link. It's an ongoing process of fixing the plane and making it better and better. For the moment I'm pretty happy with what I can do with the cockpit. Check on the cockpit, it's the new edition on that one. 3D Mesh was downloaded from 3D Free. I don't know the creator of it, but I had to work about 50% on it to fix the flying surfaces and cockpit and some other stuff. I'm not that good on modeler either way. And we will show you around. So here is the plane, and first things first, if you want to set up the autopilot, you just press that button. We'll show you right here autopilot and heading hold. This means it's going to hold the current heading. If you press the altitude, it's going to hold the altitude, the current altitude. And you can use nav if you did set up some waypoints, VOR, fixes, or a full flight plan. It will follow your flight plan. Heading mode has two modes. It's the selected and hold. Selected means you can set up where you want to go, and then you let it go to the selected. Altitude, if you change that, will change right here the desired altitude, and then you can ask flight level change, not with maximum speed though, and we'll get you up there or down there. Let's try all three motions. Yeah. So autopilot will engage the selected heading. Altitude will hold the altitude desired, or will try if it's on the minima. There you go. We're having now an autopilot going to the desired course. Which desired course is that one. Heading 290. You can change it from here. And we'll change here. That's your lateral position. That's your heading indicator. This is your fuel. This is your engines. And here is the HUD. I put it here so you can see it, because on daytime you cannot very nicely see it. You can always take it off just by pressing lights. If you press lights, L for lights, we'll take off the lights and it will show you the armament screen of the Rafale. That's about it. Enjoy. Next we'll do an approach. Let's let it go down to 100 again. Working down on the thrust. Loses speed very realistically though. That's the drag working very well. And the moment of inertia of the airplane feels about right. I want to see some comments from real life pilots on the way he behaves. That's going down on my saddle. That was a pretty accurate loop.